Jake here for American Muscle, and today I've got the K&N Series 63 Air Charger cold air intake fitting 2011 and newer 3.6 liter Challengers. If you're looking for an easy way to improve the drivability and response of your Pentastar Challenger, then you've got to take a look at this intake from K&N. This is specifically designed to increase airflow and reduce intake temperatures versus your stock setup, which is going to make for a noticeable difference in the way your car drives and responds. And it doesn't require a tune either, so it's an easy setup as well. K&N has long been the name in cold air intakes, and with good reason. Their setups and filters are high quality, long-lasting pieces that provide noticeable improvements in overall drivability, and this Series 63 Air Charger system is no exception. But let's start with this filter. This is a washable, reusable, high-flow oiled air filter that's going to help capture dirt and particulates. And since this is notably larger than your stock filter, this is inherently going to let a lot more air through. And the deep pleats all around it help with both flow and the trapping of unwanted debris. And since this is an oil design, you get the added benefit of having that additional layer of protection against dirt and particulates. The oil on the surface is nice and sticky, so it's going to help filter out some of even the smallest particulates that might otherwise slip through a dry filter. And the best part is that you can just wash it out, re-oil it, pop it right back in. No need to replace it, just clean it and be on your way. Now, oiled filters like this have a pretty long lifespan, especially if they are properly cared for, so it's going to help cut down on replacement costs as well. Now, K&N says that you can go up to 100,000 miles without cleaning this filter in ideal conditions, but your mileage may vary, and I would recommend cleaning this out every year or so at least, just to make sure that everything is performing at its best. We also see plenty of heat shields for cold air intakes, but I like this one because it actually seals to the hood, so you get these two big pieces of weather stripping included in the kit. It's going to make the filter sort of a self-contained unit. So as opposed to a more restrictive air box or a more open, smaller heat shield, this one is large enough to allow for excellent airflow, but it keeps things sealed off enough. It's making sure that air is being pulled from outside as opposed to pulling that hot air from inside the engine bay, which is going to help ensure that your intake temperatures stay lower. So you get maximum airflow, minimum temperature. And since the air filter is visible as soon as you pop the hood, it's easy to check the cleanliness and condition of the filter and even pop it out without having to disassemble much. Now, attaching all that trickery to the manifold itself is this big old intake tube, which is lightweight and it's nice and smooth for maximum airflow. And because you have that open heat shield design, larger filter, and a larger solid intake tube, this is also going to give you more sound. Now, intakes are great because when you're cruising around at lower speeds, you don't hear too much, but when you crack the throttle open, you get a great intake noise, and I am a big fan of that. Now, another big positive here is that this is a no tune required intake like I mentioned a couple minutes ago. So you don't need to invest in a custom tune or a flash tuning module to get this set up to work properly on your Charger. However, as with any intake, don't expect huge power gains out of just putting this on. You will still feel some difference in the way the car responds, but big power gains are not going to be the end result with just a cold air intake. And of course, even though a tune is not required with this setup, we would recommend one to maximize your performance gains. Construction-wise, that filter we were talking about is a cotton gauze media and again is an oiled design, so it's going to do an excellent job of filtering out dirt and debris. The intake tube is made from roto-molded polyethylene, again providing excellent airflow and heat resistance as well as that nice resonance that we were discussing. And our heat shield here is made from black powder-coated metal that includes those new hefty pieces of weather stripping to keep things sealed up nicely. Plus you get all the connectors and even some new PCV lines for you too. Pricing is going to come in at about $400. Now this does put it towards the upper end of the spectrum, but as with most things, you get what you pay for here. So if you're looking for a high quality intake that is an easy bolt-on upgrade, then this one is going to be absolutely worth it in my opinion. Installation gets a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter and should only take you about an hour to complete. Now again, you get all the clamps, the hoses, and everything you need to get the job done included in the box. And to show you just what's involved in the process, let's throw it over to one of our AM customers.
All right, so the tools that we're going to use this evening is a 4mm Allen wrench, a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver, a flat blade screwdriver, a ratchet. I don't have a 10mm wrench, so we're going to use an adjustable wrench. Got extension, 8mm socket, 10mm socket, and also a 14mm socket. And that's what we're gonna use for, oh, and scissors for trimming the gasket around the heat shield. Okay, we're gonna start by disconnecting the negative terminal on the battery, and you might want to record any pre-programmed settings or programmed settings. All right, so we have the negative terminal off the battery, so we're disconnected electrical wise. Okay, so we're gonna remove the engine cover from the car. Next, what we're gonna do is remove the inlet air temperature sensor. It just pulls out like that with a clip. Next, the crankcase vent hose, we'll remove that as well. Just push down on the clip and remove. Okay. Next, what we'll do is we'll grab our 8mm socket, extension, and wrench. Ratchet. Come over here and just loosen it. Okay, that's loose. Next, we'll come and we'll loosen the bracket for the airbox. Next, we're going to remove the factory air intake system, factory box. Take that out. So we're going to put the trim onto the air box. Now we're going to install the rubber grommet, the bolt, the washer. Next, we have a bracket over here. Washer, got a spacer, we have another washer, this is where the 4mm will come in handy, 4mm Allen wrench, and we have our 10mm socket and wrench ratchet. Okay. After that, we're gonna move along and we're gonna put the trim. Okay, you have two trims. You have a longer one and a shorter one. Now, trimming may be necessary. So be right about here. Just to trim it off. And now we'll be able to put it back on. Perfect. That one's good. Okay, moving along to this side. We'll trim it off right about here. I made a mark here to remind me where it's at. Okay, perfect. Move that down. Put that back down. Okay. Make sure everything looks nice and snug. Install the air filter adapter plate. Possible. Now you're going to want to use a lock washer. You're going to want to use a regular washer. zinc lock washer, stainless steel washer. Your 4mm Allen wrench. Snug for now. Like this here. Better. Okay. Now we make sure how the seal's up good. Okay, perfect. That's looking pretty good. Get it nice and snug. Check it out again. Hopefully it looks good. Okay, so now we're going to put the heat shield into the vehicle. I'm just going to double check the seals one more time. Make sure they didn't shift at all. Okay. So we're going to use a bolt and a washer. And they're provided. Okay, so this part goes here. Just like this. There we go. Use the factory mounting point. Let me just grab my 10mm socket. Okay, perfect. So now we're gonna go to the factory air box and remove the inlet air temperature sensor. Move it counterclockwise and then pull it out. And this is the air intake, the air inlet temperature sensor. And we'll also remove this grommet. We'll use this grommet. And I believe that's it. Now we'll put this here. Okay, that looks good. Okay, now we'll go to the K&N air filter and we'll install this rubber grommet here. Take a look, see what's holding this up here. We'll take the air temperature sensor and slide her in. We'll come over here. We'll install this bracket here. There we go. Perfect. Now we have our breather hose. Degrees. There we go. Apply this to the throttle body with the provided hose clamps. And grab, I believe is it the 8mm, 10mm? No, 8mm. Grab the 8mm. Yes, okay. 8mm socket. And let's go throw this onto the throttle body. Down here. Slide it down a little bit better so it's a little bit more out of sight. Get that nice and snug. Just take a double check on it. Make sure everything looks okay. There we go. It slides on like a charm. Go to this side. Slide this one on. Snap this one up as well. nice and snug. Okay. So now we're going to do the engine crankcase ventilation hose. Put that here. Put this over here. And I think it's where this will come in handy. Here, underneath, that way it's out of sight. And then we'll put this on here. Slide it onto the attachment that we put on earlier. Make sure the hose goes all the way on. Make sure we're not getting any rubbing anywhere. Looks pretty good. Now we'll go ahead and attach this hose clamp. Let's double check all the hardware. Nice and tight. Check this hardware, make sure it's nice and tight. Good, that's tight. It's tight. We installed the air intake tube. We plugged in the crankcase ventilation hose. Now let's plug in our air temperature sensor. Let's just snap the steps right in like that. Put it this way so we can get access. Slide it in. Perfect. Yep, perfect. Just gonna hand tight her to get her closed. Okay, so now she's hand tight. Just wanna make sure it's fitted and secured. Okay. Now we'll apply a couple more turns. Okay, that's tight. It's on there snug. Everything looks good. Okay, perfect. Make sure the gasket's all good. Make sure everything is tight. Double check everything. Make sure everything is nice. And we'll start the car. Or actually, let's put the engine cover back on. Where's this one? Okay, now we're going to go back and reconnect the negative terminal. We'll start the vehicle up. Make sure there's not any leaks or any odd noises. Make sure everything looks okay. Nice and tight. Okay.
That's going to wrap it up for our review and install of the K&N Series 63 Air Charger cold air intake, fitting 2011 and newer 3.6 liter Challengers. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, for all things Challenger, be sure to keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.